My name is Laura. I am 28 years old, and I live with depression with psychotic features and borderline personality disorder. Those to me are two very different illnesses, but they are both in my body. And the biggest thing I find with the depression with psychosis is that when I get depressed, I go psychotic, hence the name depression with psychosis. And being psychotic for me means things like feeling people touching me, hearing things, seeing things, all of those different things that manifest basically all of your senses, but smell really, for me, is what it manifests as. And borderline personality disorder is, I find, a bit more complicated to explain. It is basically, for me, it manifests itself with my mind and my body being separate. They don't really connect up. They don't really talk to each other. They just sort of go like, I'm over here, I'm over here. So just being able to try bringing them together is what creates stability for me, even though that is quite a challenge. The first sign to me that something was wrong, but I really didn't tell anyone about it, was at the age of 11 I actually started hurting myself by cutting myself. I thought, I had heard somewhere that if you cut yourself, that could help something, but I was like, I don't really get this, but I'm going to try it anyways. And so I tried it, and it was just, I found such a huge relief in it. And just being able to express myself in that way, to myself only though. I wasn't expressing it to other people, I wasn't showing people, I wasn't telling people. It was my little secret. I had this little secret that I could just be like, yeah, I do this, it's mine. And it's really just it's been a challenge trying to share that with people, because I actually didn't even start getting help until I was in my 20s. And so that means a minimum of 9 years of doing this on my own, not having anyone around to be like, yeah, I can see you're struggling. It was just sort of my little hidden thing. I was the quiet, shy girl. So people really didn't expect much of me. They were like, okay, yeah, she's sort of struggling in school, whatever. She's being bullied, whatever. She's still doing okay, though. We're not really noticing anything too bad. But just being able to have a way to express myself is what that created for me. But then it shifted into an addiction, where I had to do it every single day, and I had to do it to just get myself to feel normal. And just being able to be that person was so hard and so challenging, just to be stable or to be functioning and that type of thing, that I kept turning to that escape mechanism. And the psychosis didn't actually start until I was in my 20s. I was around 23, I believe, maybe 24, and I was actually already in the hospital for another issue, just struggling inside myself, and so I was put into the hospital. And it was basically the whole hospital caved in on me. I thought people were in my room when people weren't really there. I thought people were touching me. I thought people were just crowding me, and I was freaking out. And my doctor was like, it's okay, I understand you're scared, I understand you're scared. But it didn't really hit me what was going on until I actually got out of it, because I was so terrified of what was happening. I have had a multitude of treatments, a lot of them. Initially, it started out as antidepressants, and that wasn't working for me. It just, my brain could not wrap around that. Then I shifted into mood stabilizers, which also didn't work. For me, at least. They work for some people, but that wasn't related to my illness, I don't think. And then I ended up trying a different antidepressant from the one that I tried earlier, and that one helped a bit. And I was like, oh, something's different. And I was still struggling, but I managed to get a bit better. And then after that, I sort of went downhill for a while, and I actually went up to my doctor and asked him, I was in the hospital already, and I just asked him, I was like, okay, can I try ECT? And he was like, okay? Sort of a bit surprised that it actually came from my mouth, because I had been wanting to do therapy, all this stuff, different medications, and he wasn't really expecting me to say that out loud. But I actually said, like, hey, I need to try something totally different from what we've been doing already. And so I ended up getting on a treatment of ECT, which is electroconvulsive therapy, also known as shock therapy. And just a little note, it's way different than One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. They have different techniques now. They do it with like very calculated measures. They have different parameters, they call them, for each person, and you work your way up. It's done under anesthetic with a muscle relaxant. All of these things are combined into the one treatment that takes like 15 minutes max for you to be put asleep and wake up again. It's very, very short, relatively painless, minus the headache and neck ache that you get afterwards. But for me, that treatment actually worked, which was a surprise. Because I was like, okay, I'm just going to try this to see if it does anything. Like, I'm not picturing it doing much, but it actually turned out that it worked a bit. And that was just a huge shock to me. And so now, like, I usually use it when I get into an acute phase, which is when I get really, really sick really, really fast. And I just feel like there's no hope or no way out. And I also use it as maintenance, which is where you do it when you're out of the hospital. I do it now once every 4 weeks, just to get myself stable, or keep myself stable and just keep going and not sliding back and just maintaining an even keel. And it's getting spread out more and more as we speak, which is great, because it's nice to be able to say that you're getting to be free from something that you were attached to for so long for your stability. And it's a really, really good feeling to be able to say, like, hey, you know what, something actually works. And other treatments I've tried include things like antipsychotics, which they finally found one of those that actually works for the hallucinations. And that has been great. I think that was probably the thing that has changed my life most recently. For me, the most helpful things have been including things like having people around, having a support network, and having things that you can count on and not have them fall to the wayside and have people freak out at you because you're sick. Just have them look at you and say, okay, I see you're struggling, but you can keep on going. And I will be there for you even if you fall again. And that's been the hugest thing for me, is just having those people in my life who I can call and just be crying and be like, I can't do this anymore. And they're like, okay, I know you feel like you can't do it today, but remember that tomorrow might be different. And if tomorrow isn't different, that's okay. The day after might be different. And just reminding me of the little things I can grab onto that aren't the the answers that just mean nothing, but the answers that actually come from me, like things that I enjoy, like knitting. I don't know why I like it, but I do like it. And if someone reminds me that I enjoy that, it's like, oh, I can try that, okay. And then I try it for a few minutes and it relaxes me. There's the huge changes, like being able to function and not be in the hospital all the time. Those are the big changes, but the most changes I see are the little changes. This one's actually a big change, is that I haven't kept myself in 8.5 months, which is really cool. It will be 9 months and 5 days, which I am really looking forward to being able to say, 9 months, yes! And just being able to stand up for myself and not just sort of go, okay, I'll do whatever you tell me to do, that type of thing. I'll actually say, like, okay, why is this happening? What's going on here? Can you explain this to me? Can you do this for me? And just get all the details together before I make my decision, whereas before I would have just jumped right into it and said, oh, well, the doctor told me to do that, so I'll do it. And also my mood has changed and the psychotic symptoms have changed so much. Like, I see them around, like, very rarely, so I do have a memory of what they're like. But I also see that I'm doing things to change. And that I get out of bed in the morning, and that can some days be a huge accomplishment. And I recognize that accomplishment. Instead of saying, oh, but you just got out of bed, you're not doing this. It's like, okay, yeah, I actually am getting out of bed, and I was struggling. So that is a big accomplishment.